Yes, this is the most powerful offensive maneuver.
And also throwing cows at you.
What?
It throws cows at us?
Maybe the UFO was making a cow delivery to these guys so that they had ammo to throw at you.
I was continuing the reference to the Monty Python scene.
Okay, yeah. That works too. I've only been awake for like an hour and a half. Don't judge me.
I'm judging you so hard right now, John.
No.
But
I've been British, I've not actually seen Monty Python.
But this is what I don't get about Monty Python. Like, most British humor is just, you know, sort of deadpan, at least that I've seen, is sort of deadpan, sarcastic stuff. And then you have Monty Python, which is, like, completely silly.
Yes, we have 2 levels of funniness, as you just said.
Then again, American humor comes in many flavors, so I suppose I shouldn't be that surprised.
Most of it is crude.
Yeah.
Though I suppose it's just a modern trend.
Okay, look, it's a back attack, and the imp was facing us.
Well,
Potentially stupid question. Have we finished the voice acting for the game?
We have.
Yes.
so we know what the end of the game sounds like.
Indeed we do.
Well, there is some stuff that happens after the last line is said.
Well, like cutscenes and stuff?
Yes. And I am not going to tell anybody what that is, because I do not want the ending to be spoiled. If you already know what the ending is, please do not say.
Zip.
Oh, speaking of British humor, there was a kids show on in the 80s with the character named Zippy.
Oh, I remember watching that. What was it called?
Rainbow.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, something rainbow.
I only learned.
I missed the title of the show. What was it called?
I think it's called Rainbow, from what I remember.
Yeah.
And
Was
here's
it anything like Reading Rainbow?
no, not really.
It had Lamar Burton in it.
So it's
There was
like,
a puppy
okay,
that had like a zip on his mouth.
yes. And when characters got irritated with him, they would zip his mouth shut.
That's creepy.
And I learned about this guy through this entirely unrelated video that I actually put a clip of it in one of my Xenosaga videos. It is of a genre called animutation. And there was...
yes.
Yes, Jen knows what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, those
Same here, actually.
those energy crystals are extremely valuable for getting ultimate weapons. Yes, there's a line that in the original language which is Dutch is en in zippy drive mit CD-ROM dat doet me ook geen fuck, which means in the zip drive with CD-ROM that doesn't do me fuck. But the way it was translated in quotation marks was, and if Zippy drives my CD-ROM, don't talk to my old Greyfoot.
Yes, of course.
So I didn't actually get the... I didn't...
That sounds like YouTube annotations.
Yes, it does!
Yes, the YouTube annotations and the closed captioning. Oh
This
god.
is just,
So I didn't actually get to fight this guy the last time, because Odin just decided I did not have to fight it.
Thanks, Odin.
I think the only thing worse than YouTube annotations is if you use Babelfish, type something in English and translate it to foreign, then translate it back again.
That's where we got do not want. Because someone translated it into Chinese and then back to English.
Have y'all seen that series of videos in which these couple of people write a simple script and then put it on YouTube and take down the annotations and then perform that and then put it up and then
Rhett and Link?
feature it again and then do it a third time?
I remember Rhett and Link did that, and the end result had nothing to do with the original script.
So it sounds sort of like... It sounds sort of like...
preposterous, and it was highly amusing.
Sounds sort of like Telephone.
Indeed.
No, it's like Telephone with someone that's trying to lip read you. It's very hilarious because like the mouth movements are very similar, but it's the completely incorrect word.
Of course.
Well, there are certain things like if you're just looking at someone, then let me think. Because I just remember seeing this huge IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet chart of consonants, and they're grouped by like where they're placed and what the mouth movement is. So if they're
space, now I've seen everything. Sorry, I was just kind of mesmerized by that.
no. Sometimes we need someone to take us back to what's actually happening in the game.
The skull on it.
Boom. Okay, basically, any status effect that the enemy is susceptible to, it'll be hit with that when you use that attack. It's sort of like the PC's version of bad breath. Oh wait, Quistis can use bad breath too. Yeah, so I accidentally discovered something very useful against this guy, which that if you... Number one, it can be silenced, and number two, if it is silenced, it can't use its most powerful attack, which is the Meteor spell.
Yay!
Well, yes, Meteor is a spell, and you can't use spells if you're silenced. That makes sense.
Indeed.
By the way, Meteor has been slightly downgraded from Final Fantasy VII. It will not destroy the entire world.
No!
It's helpful.
So I'm basically just wailing on this guy now. Which could take a while because he has a lot of hit points.
It's what's the counter going down?
I was wondering whether anyone would notice that.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that would be very bad for him when it reaches 0.
Oh, did it inflict doom?
It inflict break, or petrify.
So it freezes and you win!
Yes.
Doesn't matter how many life points he has left.
I think it matters for how many experience points you get. Because if you kill an enemy, if you defeat an enemy by petrifying it, then you don't get the same experience points.
Because you didn't technically kill it.
Yes, and I think there's another battle later on where I don't do any damage and it just petrifies. I just petrify it. Did it say she already knew Mighty Guard?
Maybe.
Yes.
Well, if she didn't know it, then she knows it now. Yeah, so you'll see this throughout the dungeon that you'll get the same battle a few times in a row.
It went for friends.
Just to make absolutely sure you can kill these guys. Like, you fight them about 7 times.
Well, it's also lots of levels.
Yes.
Which is why at some point I decided, okay, I can't afford to go through this without some bonus abilities on.
Yes, you mentioned this.
Also, I realized, I was thinking, Zell and Rinoa are not my 2 lowest level characters, so maybe I should take someone else. And then I realized, you know what? Doesn't really matter. Whoever you take, even if they're your lowest level characters going in, are going to be far higher levels than everyone else at the end. Oh, look, one of these guys again.
Oh, hi.
It's a Durgan.
A Durgan. Or as strong Matt would say, a Dagron.
Dagron's the Durgan.
And apparently I have Squall's weapon junction to something that the Ruby Dragon absorbs.
Yay!
Which means that Squall cannot use physical attacks on it. Without healing it. So guess what I do with him?
You do stuff.
I spam blink at him.
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Which is not a bad strategy against these guys. It's pretty much guaranteed 9999 damage.
Yay.
Oh yeah, I didn't silence this guy, so he is using Meteor.
How to
That looks
face.
kind of painful. Ever so slightly painful.
Oh yeah, take that attack and imagine that there are more hits than that, and every hit does a few thousand points of damage.
Ouch.
Yeah, just keep that sort of in mind for later in the game.
Oh, I think I know what move you're referring to now. Okay.
If you do, then don't say.
I'm not going to.
Well, this guy has some good spells. I wasn't going to let the opportunity.
It ruins the amusing power of the move if I tell them what it is. Ah, I messed up again. I'm assembling chainmail, well, scale mill for those who don't know what I'm doing.
Okie doke.
The good thing about using a GF a lot is eventually it starts to arrive very quickly.
Yay!
The bad thing about using a GF a lot is that you're opening it up to taking damage.
Pouty face.
So, like, does using a GF a lot in the same battle, like, decrease its summon timer?
Using a GF a lot, period, decreases its summon
okay.
timer, as long as it's the same character who's summoning it.
So, like, you increase your bond or whatever with it?
Yes, it's called the compatibility rating. And you can actually see that if you go into the GF menu and select the particular GF.
That's useful.
Indeed.
The downside of it is that if you rely on one GF and don't summon the others, then the compatibility ratings of the others will actually go down.
That is useful.
But if there's one GF that's more useful than the others, then you don't really care as much if the compatibility ratings are going down.
Like, the demon one that just does 999 damage.
Yes,
Yeah, that one. It just occurred.
yes. If I went to my GF meter report or whatever it's called, you'd probably find that I'd summoned that one more times than all of the others combined.
Well, it's really useful.
Exactly. The other two that are very useful to summon are Doom Train, which I've called CapriSun, and the one GF that I don't have yet.
Okie doke.
Meanwhile, we're getting pummeled with meteors.
No! Stop and kill Squall!
Yes, but not...
Time code check, just a second.
Time is 1:14:42.
Okay.
I don't know why Squall did so little damage with that.
The world may never know.
Maybe the Ruby Dragon just has high defense.
Maybe.
Oh, by the way, as you can see, he couldn't absorb the damage from that. I think limit breaks, just enemies can't absorb damage.
No.
Unless limit breaks count as non-elemental damage.
Or maybe
I know
they just...
some games will do that for, like, ultimate moves. Their count is non-elemental damage, so that it cannot be absorbed.
No, but you know what? Now that I'm thinking of it, if I had Irvine and I were to use the fire ammo, I'm pretty sure that would be a fire attack. So maybe it's just for a regular attack they don't. Oh, speaking of absorbing damage. Maybe just for regular attack sort of things. Like physical attacks, they always counted as non-elemental or something.
Perhaps.
And you killed it, yay! I am a few seconds behind you both, man.
How do you know you're... Oh, because I said the time. But what I really don't want is people ahead of me and, like, saying what happens before it's happened.
Yeah, I knew you...
Or, like, several minutes behind, because that
Yeah.
would be a little silly.
Yeah, that would be silly too. Oh,
Yes.
wait, what's this? Actually, it's what we were just explaining a few minutes ago.
Yeah, when you said you was at, like, sections were like 42 something, I was still in 30s, and like, oh right, never mind.
Yeah,
keep watching.
if you're only a couple seconds behind, it's like, it's difficult to get it that precise anyway, so I figured just leave it.
Yes.
It's close enough.
But
All right.
no cookie for you.
Okay.
No cookies.
No cookies for you. You're not allowed.
Anyway, Meteor is one of the best spells to junction in general, so is Flare. Like, when you get these spells at the end of the game, it's like, yeah, they junction to these things a little better, but they junction to everything in general pretty well.
Yay.
Oh, Meltdown is another useful spell to have in battle. imposes a status on enemies, and it works against pretty much every enemy. Basically, the enemy will take double damage. Sort of like Armor Break in FF10. Or Armor Break combined with Mental Break.
So just everything is broken. Just break everything.
Maybe just Armor Break. I don't know. In any case, it'll take more damage. The enemy will take more damage from physical attacks.
I'm trying to remember Final Fantasy VI because I know there was a system in there about you kind of like rescuing spirits and being able to learn spells from them.
They're called Espers.
Yes, you get to summon them. Oh, what's this happening there?
Like you'd get them basically in these capsules or something, so sort of Pokeball type things.
Did someone just leave the call because I heard hang up sound?
That was me setting my pliers on my desk.
Yep, I see everyone still in the call.
Okay.
Not guilty.
Like, I'm in the background, like, I'm working on scale mail, so, like, I have to keep picking my pliers up and down.
Oh, chill. What are you making?
Here. The easiest way to show you.
So I'm modifying my junctions because I have these more powerful spells that I've just gotten, in case people are wondering.
Okie doke.
Yes.
And I will be doing more modifying once I get more of the spells.
Of course.
Because as we all know, more of a spell junction produces a stronger effect.
Indeed it does.
And because of CapriSun, Squall now has more of his holes filled in as far as, like... Okay, I should not have put it that way. More of his blank spots filled in.